Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
The new racing minister is facing further allegations of animal cruelty within the greyhound racing industry. Activists releasing more footage of kennel conditions as the former minister was also hounded in Parliament. And a warning, some viewers may find the following images distressing.
Claiming cruelty isn't out of the ordinary, but the industry norm, Animal Liberation has released footage of a Northwest greyhound trainer's kennels.
These dogs can hear, see and smell death in the air.
Aware of the footage posted on social media this morning, which has been referred to the Office of Racing Integrity for review.
It comes a week after video from the same group prompted the suspension of one of the state's leading trainers. While the former racing minister is back under fire, having previously said she was never briefed on cost blowouts for the Northwest track.
Here's a document, a briefing, which shows under RTI that we've received, that shows in fact that she had received a briefing. She had been briefed on the 29th of May.
The rubbish that you come in with, time in, time out, honestly, is breathtaking.
Another potential blowout's been questioned, with the Greens claiming the state's goal to build 1,500 homes is more costly than expected.
At least $5, if not $6 billion of government investment.
Quite honestly, the Greens can't be taken seriously here.
Projected overrun on Marinus Link has that project under a cloud. And if it doesn't proceed, then nor do the planned pumped hydro projects at Tarraleah and Lake Sathana, prompting questions where the new power will come from.
There are exciting opportunities for generation, including in wind and solar in Tasmania, and will continue to progress, but our optimum path is with an affordable Marinus Link.
The link that now lives or dies with the federal government.
For more on state politics, we're joined now by Josh Duggan. Good evening, Josh. The Premier's used a ministerial statement to give more details about the Commission of Inquiry into child sexual abuse in institutional settings. When can the public expect to see that final report?
Unfortunately, Louise, we still don't know exactly when. The Commission is going to hand its final report to the Governor on August 31. As soon as the Premier receives it from her, he's going to table it in Parliament House. But we don't know how long her review is going to take. We do know it won't be any later than September 28. The uncertainty has already caused some anxiety for victim survivors who've been asking for a firm date. There's also concerns about details possibly being redacted. The government will be able to advise if they think the public interest is outweighed by other considerations like the right to a fair trial, security or privacy.
The government's essentially asking us to trust them that they're not going to redact parts that make them look bad in an inquiry essentially into them.
But the Governor will also apply her own mind, her experienced legal mind to these matters in considering any advice from Executive Council. And we look forward to being able to provide the report in the fullest possible form to the community.
Without knowing what will be taken out, a heavily redacted report to some is going to look politically motivated, or the government trying to protect its departments. To maintain confidence and restore faith in those who gave evidence, it's crucial the public sees as much of this as possible.
All right, thank you for that, Josh Duggan there. An explosion of inmate numbers at Risdon Prison has given rise to allegations the facility has breached human rights laws. The revelation, one of many unearthed during a parliamentary inquiry into the state's criminal justice system.
Accused of fuelling criminal activity and disadvantage, Tasmania's prison system has been labelled a serious failure of government policy.
Rates of homelessness, alcohol and substance dependency, significant mental health issues and trauma are all high within the prison population.
1 in 2 prisoners is returning within 2 years. Now, if this were a health system and you had people coming back with another heart attack within 2 years, it'd be a front page news.
An inquiry into Tasmanian adult imprisonment and youth detention matters revealing a breach of international human rights law and Australian correctional guidelines within Risdon Prison.
We get reports constantly of prisoners who've been locked down 5 or 6 days in a row. That is solitary confinement.
The lockdowns triggered by staff shortages and record-breaking incarceration rates.
Compromises have had to be made.
We
continue to monitor this and continue to raise.
But you have no teeth to do anything about it.
I don't have any coercive powers, no.
So, and you know, to me, that's a concern.
Witnesses repeating calls for the state's criminal justice system to be more reliant on prevention and rehabilitation community programs and recommending sentences fewer than 6 months be abolished.
They get no support in the prison system because they're not there for long enough time. And there's no evidence that they reduce recidivism.
The Commissioner for Children and Young People also came to the table, questioning whether a large detention centre is even needed and proposing reforms to support vulnerable children as early as possible.
The first moment we find that there is an issue, that is where we have the biggest chance of making a difference.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Labor MHA David O'Byrne is calling on Metro to ensure bus service cancellations aren't disproportionately affecting low socio-economic areas. The Franklin MP says Hobart's Eastern Shore is being hit hardest as the average number of canned trips around the state tops 100.
That's kids not getting to school, that's people not getting to work, that's people being stranded in the middle of winter.
Most trips are being delivered, but we want to see better reliability and less need for anybody to have to check the website on a daily basis.
The Deputy Premier says low unemployment means Metro is struggling to recruit drivers. A Tasmanian man who was plunged into poverty has spoken out about the vicious cycle of being homeless. It comes as community groups in Launceston unite in an annual walk to raise awareness and fight for better outcomes.
For Samuel Wayne, it has been a tough road in life over the past 2 years.
I worked from like 19 to 25, pretty healthy, sometimes 7 days a week with pop, and then life got in the way, inflation and COVID.
Living on his boat, Samuel has been struggling to meet his expenses. He was forced into homelessness after losing his job and a relationship breakup.
You're trapped in this cycle of nothing. I haven't had money for days. I can't buy toilet paper. I've got a little bit left, some rations on the boat.
It's an issue highlighted at this year's homelessness walk in Launceston. Community groups coming together to make the journey from the City Park Rotunda to Royal Park.
We're seeing an ongoing increase to support agencies such as Vinnie's Tas from those who are really struggling to make ends meet.
The charity calling on Tasmanians to be generous this winter by donating goods to help those doing it tough.
Beanies, blankets, rugs, clothing, some of those items such as non-perishable foods or even just household items that they no longer need because they can make a real difference for others.
As for Samuel, he's hoping someone will give him the chance to get his life back on track.
I'd love a job. I'm pretty good with tools and shoveling and running around and driving boats.
Mark Zeta, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, a new art exhibition has been launched at Mawson Place in Hobart, showcasing artworks from people who've been forced to live on the streets.
I experienced houselessness last year for 5 months, and I created so much art during that time. It actually inspired my work to become better.
It helps give exposure and helps lessen anxiety and create a safer place for people to express themselves freely.
The exhibition will run until next Monday. A new beer is aiming to turn off the tap on the gender gap in the brewing industry. 5 Tasmanian women are taking a traditionally male drink and making it something for everyone while raising money along the way.
Long marketed as a man's domain, you can get it selling a cow.
Matter of fact, I've got it now.
There's a pink spin on this pour.
To be a part of it, the backbone of the business, learning about it, it's just, it's pretty amazing.
The group went to work making a new brew using Duquesne's resources and a simple formula in mind.
We all just wanted to pick a beer that we wanted to drink.
They ended up with a hazy IPA. $1 from each schooner sold will go to the Pink Boots Society, which funds scholarships for women in the global brewing industry.
The brewing industry has been male-dominated for a very long time, so things like the Pink Boots initiative, it's just a really exciting time for us.
Even the name is a nod to a pioneer in her own right. Clouds of Sappho is named after an ancient Greek poet considered one of the greatest of her time. Cheers to that.
It's really juicy, really easy drinking.
An initiative turning the taps on tradition.
Yes, a hard day's draft is a man's best friend, and my mates call out for a
This can be anyone's best friend. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's skilled migrants will be given an opportunity to enter the construction industry thanks to a new partnership between the Civil Contractors Federation and the Migrant Resource Centre. The program aims to fill a labour shortage in the sector, with the group touring the site of the new Glenorchy ambulance station today.
This is a very good chance for me to get on site to gain the practical experience like this.
We are providing opportunities to migrants so that we're able to retain them in Tasmania.
The program is supported by Jobs Tasmania. Budding scientists are strapping on their safety goggles, learning from some of the state's best. An educational program is touring Tasmania, teaching students about the vast opportunities the field offers.
From brains to bugs, the next generation ready to step into a future in the science lab.
The brain shrinks at 50 and it's like you're getting dumber and dumber. I learned if you put all your fingers together like that, this is actually what your brain looks like.
Young Tassie scientists embarking on its 21st roadshow, visiting schools right across the state.
Finding ways to connect with students and really energise them, show them that science is really broad.
The team teaching inquiring minds all about the world around them.
There's actual insects called bugs and they look pretty weird. Ladybirds were pretty cool. I didn't know there was different types, I thought it was just red and black.
The discovery sessions also putting the professionals under the microscope.
So many questions. They will uniformly ask things that we've never thought of before. It's actually a great learning opportunity for us.
Trying to entice the next crop of leading thinkers.
Yeah, as well as being a football star. I want to be like a vet, but that also includes sciencey stuff. Maybe the brain one.
The tour proving anyone can be a wizard of the science world.
It's not Albert Einstein with his white hair and his white lab coat anymore. Students get that opportunity to be like, that's me in 10 years' time.
And with the mobile lab on the move, it almost has the tick of approval.
Heaps of fun. 99.9.
Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
In the TSL, Kingborough is embracing rather than hiding from its tough finish to the regular season. Beginning with Launceston on Saturday, the Tigers will also face fellow finals contenders North Launceston and Clarence. Kingborough's coach also says the team is getting back to enjoying their footy after a tough mid-season period.
That sort of was a bit of a light bulb moment in my head to stop being a sad sack and actually enjoy that we've got a pretty good footy team and we're going pretty well.
Lauderdale's coach, meanwhile, wants his team to start better, both in matches and training.
Speaking about how can we start training better, like why are we taking so long to get going at training, which is leading into games.
Lauderdale hosts North Launceston in a battle of the Bombers on Saturday. Her playing career has outlasted some of the competitions she's been involved with, and this weekend, Hayley White will notch up game number 150, all of it with Launceston.
Every year we just seem to get a great group of young girls and they keep me around the club.
White is one of only a handful of women's footy players in Tassie to reach the milestone. Devonport's Australia Cup dream is over after a 1-0 loss to the Gold Coast Knights. The Strikers had a shot at taking the lead in the first half.
Keep playing on. Now the strike from Garrido. A brilliant save from Casey Went, and he needed every bit of it.
Gold Coast hit the back of the net in the 54th minute to seal victory. Devonport has a rich history in the competition, qualifying for the last 3 in a row. The Jack Jumpers aren't wasting any time this off-season, taking to the court today ahead of pre-season officially starting next week. 2 of the team's new recruits are getting excited about the talent on the roster.
Players have been signed, the imports are here. It's now getting close to showtime for the Jack Jumpers. The team put through their paces today in a practice session that was informal only in name.
The extra week, getting that in and getting the boys going is going to be beneficial, and yeah, we've been getting after it this week.
Both Drimmick and new signing Majuk pleased with what they see.
The group that we do have, I'm pretty confident that we're going to have a decent year.
Just excited to be a big part of that and like moving forward.
Signing on as a nominated replacement player, the deal is a happy reunion for Majuk and Scott Roth. The two won an NBL championship together with the Wildcats in 2020.
It's always good to have some sort of familiarity with the coach and stuff like that and the players, so that was a big part of me being down here.
With Will Magnay still working back to full fitness, he's hoping his experience can help in defence.
Just being the anchor defensively really is that's my strength, rebounding and playing defence.
While the squad uses a weekend to recover, Anthony Drimmick will be on the court. The former 36er lining up for West Adelaide in an NBL 1 grand final.
It's a little tough doing a full week of training and then going back there and playing games, but you know, it's something you sign up for, you know that might happen.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A true tennis veteran will try to bring a prestigious Masters trophy back to Tasmania. Stephen Dance will be part of Australia's team playing for the Britannia Cup in a Davis Cup style tournament for players 65 and over, which has run since 1979. The 67-year-old was part of the team which beat the United States to win the title last year.
That was the third world title we won, but it was probably the most rewarding. We were the underdogs and we played USA in the final, went down to the final match and we got up.
Yeah, what a great feeling. Tasmania will also host the Australian Seniors Championships in January following the Hobart International. Nicola Carey has recommitted to the cane train for another WBBL season. The all-rounder was one of the team's most consistent players last summer as Hobart made the finals for the first time in 6 years. Carey snared 14 wickets and scored 169 runs despite being in the middle order. She's the 9th player to recommit ahead of the international draft. More medals for Tasmanian cyclists in the World Championships. Hamish Mackenzie is the latest to enjoy the podium after claiming bronze in the under-23 time trial. At only 18, he was one of the youngest in the field. It caps off a great week for Mackenzie, who signed with Australian World Tour team Jayco Alula a few days ago. And the Kookaburras have beaten New Zealand 3-1 in the Oceania Cup. Josh Belts played in his 100th game for the national side. Eddie Ockenden and Jack Welsh were also playing. And one more night to hold it together, Lou. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Oh, I can't wait, Tom. Might just hold you to that. Thank you for that.
Good evening. Hobart and Devonport 17 degrees today. Launceston our warmest with 18. Burnie a cooler 14 but still fine and sunny. Apart from the west, we did have the fine mostly sunny day. St Helens and Friendly Beaches 17. Bushy Park 16. Smithton, Low Head and the Bass Strait Islands 14. Strawn a high of 13 degrees. There were a few showers, mainly over the west. 10 millimetres the highest fall at Strathgordon as cloud gathered over that area. The band of cloud with the front moves off to our east. More cloud off New South Wales as a low form there. Another band of cloud with the next front over WA. Tomorrow a small high tracks to our north. The front heading our way weakens to a trough which will be with us later tomorrow. West and northwesterly winds 15 to 25 knots over the north and east, but to 30 knots over the west and south with 3.5 metre swells. A strong wind warning tomorrow for waters between Tasman Island and Sandy Cape. Friday's weather for Hobart, a possible shower developing as that front and the cloud move closer. 16 degrees, 16 for Huonville, partly cloudy for Campania, 16 the top. Launceston a high of 15 with a shower or two, showery for Devonport and 15 as well, 14 the top for Georgetown. Burnie 14 with showers, showery for Strawn 13 and Wynyard 15 degrees, also wet weather there. St Helens partly cloudy, 15 the top, 16 for Swansea and Port Arthur partly cloudy along the east coast. On Saturday showers more frequent over the west, south and Bass Strait, snow to 700 metres. Fine conditions on Sunday, maybe a shower or two over King Island and Strawn, and on Monday a cold start to a very cool day but mostly fine and partly cloudy. Partly cloudy in Perth, a late shower forecast for Adelaide, a cloudy 16 in Melbourne, sunny and 19 in Sydney and a warm, fine 27 in Brisbane. And there are the current conditions. Hold on, I'm just grabbing some stuff here. Clear in Hobart, mostly clear in Launceston, Devonport clear as well and 11 degrees, Louise. Big night tomorrow night as we count down to Tom Johnson's departure. A sad day for us all. Hope I've got enough tissues to get us through.
Well, you took them from my desk, so I really hope you do too. Thanks for that, Murph. And that's all your news for this Thursday night. I'll be back later with updates though. Thank you for joining us. See you soon. Good night.